People don't give a fuck what you say. A lot of people do not understand this. They care about what you do. All of a sudden, you second guess so many obstacles in my path.
I'ma hold your hand when I say
You don't think that you gonna make
it
it?
seems like there's something standing in my way. Keep relying on
It
tomorrow.
could change the entire trajectory of what your life is. You the baseline. The moment that they see you not display the things that you preach, it don't fucking matter. You feel me?
What's going on, everybody? It's that ordinary podcaster with the extraordinary thoughts that tells you to stop being great and be extraordinary. I'm your host, Meech Speaks Podcast, also known as Meech Speaks, and welcome back to another episode of the Meech Speaks Podcast. Now, before we get started with this podcast, don't forget to head on over to your favorite streaming platform, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, YouTube now, and then also, if you're thinking, you can head on over to meechspeaks.com, grab a shirt, check out the newest episode, and leave an honest review because this podcast deserves to grow just as much as we do. Now, oh man, you know, one of the biggest things that I love is when you have guests on the show that it literally, they line right on up. You feel me? Like they line up. And today's guest, man, like y'all have probably seen him before. And if you haven't seen him, I promise you're going to start seeing him a lot more. All right. Host and creator of the Curious Notion podcast, Chris, how do you say that online, bro? Like, God
Chris
dang it,
Torres.
it's Chris Torres. I was about to say your full name, Chris Torres, but it's also on Instagram, Chris Torres, host and creator of the Curious Notion podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome him to the show. What's going on, brother?
And thanks for having me on, Meech. It's a huge privilege and honor to be on here. Marine Corps. I am a corporal, gunny, and it's a huge honor. I mean, I think social media can kind of separate a relationship that professionally we cannot have in uniform. There's lines and drawn, but here it's a more step back. It's like, I'm Chris, you're Meech, and we can have more natural conversations that probably outside of the uniform that we can touch on a little bit more. And like the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps did with his message, where he was just on his phone. He's touching up with everybody. He's in his house. And we can have conversations like that as well, where that professional barrier kind of comes off a little bit too much, but we still know, hey, there's a line, but it comes off just a little bit, and it can get better messages across to people that might not have a voice to say it. They don't have that courage to be like, I'm going through this, but they can hear the experience. And it's a huge honor to be here. Me and my friend watched your content since I was in my last duty station. That was about 3 or 4 years ago when we first saw you coming up right after COVID. He's a huge follower of you. And yeah, I told him, I was like, hey man, guess what I'm doing? And he was like, no way. I was like, yeah, that's crazy, right? You would have never thought. But here we are. So thank you for having me on. And I hope I can serve here. And I look forward to what we're going to talk about.
First and foremost, bro, I just want to take a moment and just say thank you. You don't even understand, man. Like that means a lot, bro. To me, I'm still that guy that just was recording in his closet. We talked about that earlier. So I never realized just how much of an impression that my content has on people. You feel me? And the fact that you were watching my content, bro, like I was watching yours, you know, and that's honestly what led me to just reach out, bro, is just what you were saying, what you were talking about. I was like, dude, like that resonates with me. And just like what you had said earlier, you know, we're in that age now, bro, where a gunner sergeant can look over at a corporal and be like, no, like what he's talking about some shit. You feel me? Like I want to hear it. I want to listen, you know, and we're at that space now where I can see that. I can hear that. Also, I didn't even know that you was a corporal. I thought you was a sergeant this whole time. Bro, I thought you were a sergeant this whole time. When you said corporal, I was like, what? I was like, bro, to the fact that you're doing this at such a point in your career, bro, like says a lot, man. And just like the way that you carry yourself, you can already tell, like, bro, like, you're not like no small fish, bro. Like you really carry yourself. You carry yourself like, bro, if you wouldn't have told me that you were a corporal, I would have thought like he's probably a sergeant about to get promoted to staff sergeant. Just off of the way that you're speaking and the way that you carry yourself.
No,
and the crate also just a tad bit, just to touch on what you had said with Sergeant Major's video. Man, you know, that warmed my heart to see that. You know what I mean? Like that really warmed my heart because Never in my entire career have I ever seen a sergeant major, let alone the sergeant major of the Marine Corps, show up in that fashion. You feel me? It's always just combat camera or comm strap all around. We're in this perfect form, but for him to prop the camera up, you know, you could tell that he's probably in his office, in his den. You know that he's in the house just off the camera angle and everything around him. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
for him to be able to talk to us, I'm just like, bro, man, we ain't gonna never get that again. Man, we ain't gonna never be able to get that again. And I'm grateful that we were able to witness it, man. So I'm glad that you brought that up, man.
Yeah, it's awesome. It really shows, it sets the example, like it's okay to talk about these things, make room for it. It's coming from the highest enlisted out there. One of my people, he supplies, so am I. Some of us hate us, some of us love us. But and it really sets the standard of, hey, it's all right to talk about these things.
100%.
You know, set up the atmosphere, put it up on social media, and so many people were using that to really get some message out there, sharing personal experiences, bringing that bondness together. Because, you know, sharing those experiences could save a life, right? You never know what person's going to do something and they see that message and they're like, you know what? Not today. Not today.
You know, I love the fact that you say that, man, because of the simple fact that and I've said this before, you know, when we create content, bro, like you got to understand, man, like we have such this big responsibility once that content goes out. You feel me? When you put that content out, man, like you have this overwhelming responsibility that you don't even realize, because somebody is going to come across your video, and that video, right? Like the thing that you said in the moment, you know, like the thing that you had already been through in life, you just going down memory lane. That is somebody's present. You feel me? Like that's somebody's present.
Yeah.
And it's resonating with them right now, man. Like, so for us to be able to put that out there and to be able to connect with other people just the same way that Sergeant Major in the Marine Corps did, top tier, honest to God, top tier.
Yeah, it's huge. And it's using social media for its positivity, because it can be a negative thing. And I think lots of people can focus on the negative part, but social media can also be a really huge positive thing. And that's a huge way to show it, coming straight from the top. And it can be powerful. And you use it in a very powerful way. My friends and I talk about some of your videos sometimes. We share reels with each other. It's like, hey, what do you agree? Like, remember this and stuff like that. So it's great. I use mine for the same reason. It's like I literally have it on my YouTube page. It's like feeling alone. You're not the only one. You're not the only one. Me too,
bro.
And that's part of the reason why I do this.
You know, so fun fact of the day, you know, I actually met the Sergeant Major in the Marine Corps, right?
Oh, okay. I saw him in Marfa S. He's tall. He's a little bit taller than me. Yeah, he's about 6 foot. Yeah, he's a little taller than me. He's probably like 6'2", 6'3", because I'm
100%.
Yeah.
100%, dude. I remember we was at Staff Academy, and like they said, like, hey, the Sergeant Major in the Marine Corps coming by, you know, everybody meet up in the auditorium and everything like that. And I'm like, all right, let's go ahead, get to it. You know, he walked in, and that was the first thing that I said. I was like, dang, he's tall.
Yeah.
As a man, first off, man, that was the first thing I was like, oh my God, he's tall.
Yeah.
And when he walked in, man, like he started like, and what I like the most is present. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
As he was walking on the stage, you could already tell that he was controlling the room, like just by the way that he was looking, the way that he pointed at people, the way that he interacted, and then he looks dead at me. And I was just like, oh man, like, what did I do today?
I've seen that
You know what I
face.
mean? I was like, I've seen this face. And he was like, I know you. And I'm like, yep, I'm cooked. As soon as he said that, bro, I was like this, I'm cooked. I looked over at the guy, I was like this, I'm done. This was great. I was so happy to make it to Staff Academy, but I'm done. And he was like, I like your videos. Bro, I looked at the guy behind me. To make sure that he was talking to me, because I couldn't even believe it. I was like, Sergeant Major Marine Corps, you talking to me? He's seen my videos? Are we sure he's talking about my videos? Because at the time, that was when I had put out Not a Marine 24/7. And I was constantly having to do like media runs and talk to different types of leadership about this video just to break it down, because 30 seconds isn't enough to be able to like provide enough context. So I was just like, as soon as he said that, I was like, I'm done. Sergeant Major Marine Corps saw that video. I'm done here.
Yeah. I agree. You are not a Marine 24/7. I know we love to say it, but you're not. I like to tell my friends, especially when my civilian ones, I'm like, hey, like here, I'm just Chris. That's it. That's what I am. I'm not Corporal Torres, none of that. Just Chris. I'm somebody's son, somebody's brother. I'm somebody's friend. I'm not just Corporal Torres. But when that phone picks up, okay, maybe I'll right back at it, but not 24/7. Not when that phone wasn't on. When that phone wasn't on, I was just me. And I know we're supposed to be there all the time, but that doesn't leave room for everything else. And that can ruin stuff. Like if stuff's not good at home and you're a Marine 24/7, they don't want no Corporal Torres. They don't want no gunnery sergeant. They don't want that. Why would they want that? You got to be a little bit, you got to have presence. You got to be commanding a little bit. There's certain ways you go about it. You're not dad. You're not brother, son. You're this wearing the uniform. You got to be able to take it off. I'm a huge believer that the uniform needs to come off, because it's also good for yourself. You're not in that mindset all the time. I got to perform. I got to meet expectations. I got to do this. It's being able to free yourself. It's like, you're getting hung up today. Found my ring. Might have to put it on for 20 minutes, a little longer. But other than that, that's not going to leave room for your sanity, for your mental health, really, to be able to decompress, go home and really say, I'm done for today. I'm clocked out. Right. So I agree with that.
No, brother. And it just really just goes back to what I had said earlier, man. Like I would have never guessed that you were a corporal. You feel me? I would have never guessed that you just became, you like not just became, but like you're a junior NCO. You feel me? Like I would have immediately just listening to you. That's something that I had to learn, as what you just said is what I learned when I was a sergeant about to pick up staff sergeant. You feel me? What you just dove into is what I was already figuring out when I was a staff NCO. You know, when I was a corporal, bro, and I remember being a corporal, bro, and just the only thing that I cared about was just the institution and the organization. And I'm not saying by any means that, no, you shouldn't care about that. But when I tell you that this was who I was at work and who I was off of work, that's exactly it. Like I'm talking about to the point where it's like, at the time, like the mother of my kids, like she's in the hospital. You give me a call and tell me that there's something going on at the office, at the shop. Hey man, like let me know, man. I'll be there. You feel me? I'm willing to get up and go and do this when I know for a fact I got personal stuff going on at home. And so to hear you say that, just as a corporal, bro, like it says a lot about who you are, and it just says a lot about your insight, bro, because at the end of the day, when I made that video, I was never telling anybody to abandon your core values, not to, get rid of the thing that makes you a United States Marine. I was honestly just saying, show up for your fucking family. You feel me? Show up for your fucking family. You're a great Marine, but you're a shitty husband. You're a great Marine, but you're a terrible father. You're a great Marine, but at the end of the day, that's all you really are, because you don't even know who you are. Yeah. And the saddest part is that at the end of the day, this is very finite. You're going to have to get out of the military at some point. And that's when you find out who you are,
Yeah, no, 100%. I agree, especially for people that come in right out of high school. You're a recruiter, just young men and women, and
recruiter man.
And but the reason I've learned these things, I have to not just give myself that I've really took in all these things for the people that I work for. I know a lot of Marines have had, so a little background on me, I was a reservist. I now am AR, active reserves. So it's basically active duty on a diet. Then instead of going to Fleet Marine Forces, you go to reserve stations and you're active duty there. Yes.
Wait, no, I'm raising my hand, brother. I'm a recruiter. I know what the active reserve. Yeah. I was like this. I was like, he explained this to the audience, because I'm like, I sell this.
Yeah, I'm explaining it to the audience. There's certain lingo that cannot be understood. There's active duty Marines that don't know what an AR Marine is. I
100%.
have the privilege to work with some of them here and in my last duty station. So some of them are like, AR, what the hell is that? And I'm like, it's active duty on a diet, basically. But like, I wake up and put on my pants every day, just like you, to come here to work and say, I can't go to the fleet. This is my fleet, technically.
This is your fleet. Okay.
Yeah. But a lot of units are mixed with active duty Marines for the MOSs that can be filled for the AR community. So I get the privilege to work with some of them and get the privilege to work with either good leaders or bad leaders. So I've learned my little leadership toolbox for me from the leaders I've had. And in my last leader station, I had really amazing ones. I had the opportunity to work for 2 master guns and a bunch of gunnies and staff NCOs. So a lot of this stuff is things that I took on from one that was really always there for me. He was like, hey man, at the end of the day, like, this needs to come off, bruh. Like, you're just Chris right here. He's like, this duty station is not, it's a fleet duty station, but not really. It's in Albany. It's really tiny. There's not that many Marines there. And he had been in the fleet before and then joined back after getting out for reasons of his own. And he had that experience and then had the AR experience. So he had a lot of knowledge to bring. And then I soaked it right up. He was there the day I got surgery. He's probably going to see this. So shout out to him. He knows who he is. And yeah, a lot of the stuff that I learned is really from him. There's some people that would disagree with some of his methods. I think they're valid, but we all have our own leadership ways and things like that. So yeah, a lot of this is really Corporal Torres took a lot of leadership tool from his senior leaders because I had the privilege to work with a lot of them. And it's always nice.
No, 100%, brother. And one of the biggest things, man, that really, you said something and it made me go back a little bit because I got an opportunity to listen to your most recent episode. And in that episode, y'all talked about how, you want to be the leader that you needed, be the leader that you will want others to follow you. And just hearing what you just said now, and then also just hearing that Matt Sergeant story. Like he had it from 2 different perspectives. He had good leadership from one perspective, then he also experienced bad leadership at one point as well. And the fact that he was able to take both of these experiences, you know what I mean, and combine them to essentially develop his leadership style, which would in turn be passed on to you. It really just goes back and just speaks volume to the episode that you had recently just did.
Yeah, with Staff Sergeant Garbe, awesome. I had the privilege to sit down with him. I've never really sat down with someone that was a hat, and that was super cool to do. Awesome conversation. And yeah, we really want to be the leaders that we needed. I had the fortune of having really good ones, but not everybody has that luck, right? The thing of the Marine Corps, and the thing really everywhere. It's not just the Marine Corps. There can be bad leaders everywhere else. It's not just here, but it seems like it is a reoccurring thing.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, brother, as we sit back and we talk about leadership, what is the type of leader that you want to become? Because when we say like, you want to be the leader that you need the most, who is that leader and what exactly is that person?
It's a great question. I have been asking myself that a lot lately.
Hey, I told you. I told you. Hey, these. I told you I would have some good questions, man. Like I would have some good questions.
It's great, and I have stuff here just for that too, because I really wanted to bring that up. So, I am getting out of the Marine Corps, for reasons of my health. I really love what I do. I had dreams and aspirations to lap move and do other things. I haven't had the opportunity because I haven't even picked up sergeant yet. To be eligible for this MOS, I have to be a sergeant. I have to meet a bunch of other things, which I was pretty solid. There's a couple of things I do not meet. And I think it reflects a little poorly on me, but I also had injuries, but I also don't want to use them too much of an excuse. So I'm getting out of the Marine Corps because I couldn't find that answer. And this is the stuff that I've been struggling a little bit about, and I told you I would bring it up. So you're hitting it right where I wanted to go. The kind of leader I wanted to be is one that sets the example, and I am not that example. We had a conversation. I had an injury. I tore my ACL, my PCL in my meniscus and strained my MCL. So those are all the things that really hold your knee together. When I was 20 years old, I got hurt and my knee overextended, came back in, didn't say anything. I kept PTing. We still had like another 20 minutes. All that adrenaline kept me going, but I was hurting. I was hurting bad. Like, I would not wish this pain on anybody. And from there, one of my friends was like, you hurt yourself. You're not going to go to medical, are you? I was like, nah, I just popped some ibuprofen. He's like, dude, you can't even walk. You're telling me you're not going to go? The first thing my chief instructor said, if you get hurt, don't be prideful. Go to medical. Corporal Torres here, being a motivator, did not want to go to medical. Anyway, my friend ended up making me go because he told our instructor. Instructor said, what is the first thing I said? I was like, a little bit of shame, like a disappointed father's talking to me. It's like, don't be prideful about getting hurt. If you get hurt, go get checked out. Anyway, I go, the doc sees me, he's like, don't even have to get an MRI or an x-ray. I'm going to tell you right now, you probably tore your knee. I used to play ball. So I'm like, oh.
It's career ender.
Like,
that's exactly what you hear.
This is career ender. Marine Corps dream. Poof. Marine Corps dream poof. I'm like, okay. It's that bad. He gets me an appointment out in town that day. Also, the medical there didn't have the things that bigger medicals would have. Can't do MRI. Yeah. So everything was out in town. Go see an orthopedic surgeon. Passes it on to a specialist for knees. Dude comes in. He's like, you're an overachiever, kid, but not for the good reasons. I was like, damn. He's like, you tore this, and that. I'm going to let you know right now, that's a long recovery. How old are you? I'm like, I'm 20. He's like, you might start considering a desk job. 20 years old. I've been in the Marine Corps for like 2 years. I just went AR, so I'm barely having my active duty experience as best as I can have it.
Right.
So crushing. So I've been going back on that a lot lately. And a few of my close friends are like, you're sounding like that old dog on his last day, salty. And why is that? I had a conversation with my friend earlier this week. I was like, because I have a lot of regrets, man. I can't be the thing I wanted to be. One of the things I really wanted to bring up is, leadership principle. Know yourself, seek self-improvement. We all know that. But what happens when the self-improvement ain't improving? What do you do then? Especially as a Marine. What do you do then? Do you keep faking the funk? Even though you can pass all the standards, but they're low standards. They're not the standards you want to be. And then you're getting this like little sourness to you. And you're starting to become a little bitter. What is that going to do to your future leadership? I don't have that many junior Marines under me. I have reservists under me. I haven't really had the privilege to lead, as I've always worked for senior leaders. And what is it going to make me if I keep going and I have this bitterness to me, I'm hurt, this is my car now, right? This has become a little bit of my identity. So I couldn't become the leader that would set the example, the motivator that would be up there when you're running and he comes back for you, right? Let's the people that are good go, right? Because you don't want to put them behind because somebody's behind, but you want to go back because that's who you are. I can't do that anymore. That is what I used to be. And I love that. That was a huge identity of my leadership. I'm like, the whole Marine Corps concept, I'm okay at my job. Some people say I'm a really good talker and can speak. It comes with whatever experiences I've had. But that's not the whole Marine Corps concept. When I'm looking at how I'm getting promoted, right there on the physical fitness, it says a low first class, second class. And when I look at that, I'm like, I am not the whole Marine Corps concept. I am not the whole Marine Corps concept. Everything else, awesome, across the board. But right there, if I were to tell my Marines, hey, shoot for this, what ground do I stand on to say this is what you need to shoot for? And I am not that. When they can physically see that I'm not that too. And they're just like, no, but you got hurt. Okay, I got hurt, but still got to perform, man. I still have standards to me. They're like, but you can pass. Passing ain't good enough. If you want to be a really good leader And that is what I would like to be. I can't be, half-ass mediocre and good at everything else. It's the whole thing with, so what if they're good at their job? Do they meet the whole Marine Corps concept? And most people are afraid to admit that. I am not afraid to admit that, right? There's different ways to set the example. Having that, know yourself and seek self-improvement. I gave a 7-minute speech about this in my corporate course, the course I got hurt in. And the instructor was like, dude, you blew that out of the park. I'm like, yeah, man, because I really believe it. I embody that. Like, that's been me all my life. And it just translated into the Marine Corps. As a hooper, you want to improve. So that got brought into the Marine Corps. I had a foundation to stand on, and the foundation kept getting bigger. So 100%. When you ask me, what leader do I want to be? Is one that sets the example. And unfortunately, for me, it looks like it's not going to be in the Marine Corps, but I'm young and there's other ways that I can be a leader and a voice.
Man, like, first and foremost, thank you for sharing that. You know what I mean? Like, just the level of honesty, the rawness, the transparency. I appreciate that. What stands out the most, man, like, it's just being a Marine, man, is probably one of the hardest things that we can ever be, not just as a career field, but just as a lifestyle, bro, because we're so fucking hard on ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, we're so fucking hard on ourselves, bro. And what I love the most about the dynamic between you and I, because how old are you?
I'm 24. I'm about to be 25.
Me and you are full 10 years apart, and I know I don't look it. You feel me? Drink your water, mind your own business, stay hydrated. You age gracefully. You feel me? But but you and I are 10 years apart. And when I hear you, bro, like, and I'm listening to you, I cannot help but reflect on where I was at in that space. If I would be lying to you right fucking now if I would have received that injury. If I would have received the injury that I had on my knee at 24, I'd have been in the same position. You feel me? I would have thought the exact same way. Yeah. Because I want to be excellent. I want to be great. I want to be able to set this example that my Marines can emulate. You feel me? But here's the thing though. We're always talking about the top tier performer. You feel me? Top tier performers are also talking about top tier performers. Like when we're talking about like setting that example, we're talking to the top tier performer so he can emulate it. Yeah. But what about the guy that is also hurt just like you? You feel me? What about the guy that's also struggling with his fitness? And this isn't me challenging you. This is me just hearing you, bro, because what you just said, it resonates so deeply. And I know for a fact that if Corporal Thigpen would have heard that, and if Corporal Thigpen would have received that, I would be in the exact same position as you. Because if I can't give 100%, then why the fuck am I here? You feel me? If I can't be at the top, then why the fuck am I here? Yeah. But when we talk about like knowing ourselves and seeking self-improvement, the hardest part about that is, and this is the reason why we find it hard to even seek self-improvement, is because we're not 100% when we say that we know ourselves. You feel me? When we say like, hey, you got to know yourself, like what version of yourself are you knowing? Like what version of, and really peel that back. What version are you still tied to? Yeah. If we say like knowing ourselves, like, are we knowing ourselves in this current position right now? You feel me? Like, are we knowing what our limitations are? Are we knowing what our abilities are right now? Are we knowing what our new 100% looks like? Because now we have a new 100%. Or are we basing this all off of what I used to be able to do? And I'm like, fuck, bro, like I'm not getting back to what I used to be. Yeah. As somebody that tore their knee, you know it better than I do, especially because you play ball. Once you fuck this up, you ain't, congratulations, you got a new baseline now. Like, and even when you were talking, bro, like to have a career-ending knee injury, I'm talking about like a scholarship losing knee injury. Like you get an injury like that in college, you might as well just go ahead and look at a different major because you definitely not going to the league after this. Yeah. But you're still running a low first class, high second class PFT. Like, I don't even think that we really like in that space. So you telling me after blowing your knee out, going through all that physical therapy, you still able to run a low first class, high second class PFT? It's motherfucking Marines right now that have never been injured that run a fucking high class third. I know some recruiters right now, bro. I know some recruiters right now. The best that they got in them is a fucking low class, third class PFT.
Yeah.
And then the Marines that got to go back to the fucking fleet, and Marines like us have to see a different example to fucking emulate. You know, so once again, bro, like I hear you, bro, and I resonate with you, man, because that shit, I tell you, those were the same thoughts that I had when I blew my knee out.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like as soon as they handed me those crutches, they were talking to me about surgery, handing me a knee brace. I'm like, I'll never be who I used to be. You feel me? I'll never be this guy again, bro. And I'm fortunate that it happened later in my career, but just like you, man, like if that would have happened earlier, man, like I could definitely feel that, man. That's shit. It make you emotional because it's like, fuck, bro. You there's a moment of gratitude in this space right here. You feel me?
Yeah, and to add on top of it, I was offered and a lot of people tell me it's like, you should have done that, but that's not who I am. That's not the kind of person I am, and I'm probably about to rant a little bit more, but
bro, please rant.
It's I got offered to get med boarded. Doc was like, dude, you're not gonna recover in time. I'm like, I don't care. You're gonna make me recover in time. You're gonna find a loophole to the loophole where I can at least see my contract out. That's all I'm asking. I'm like, I just want to serve what I signed up for. Even if this thing that I did was out of impulse, the last few years that has given me, this thing has been awesome to me. It has returned investment on me that I've never even thought possible. Like this is a return on investment on that impulse decision I did when I was an 18-year-old straight out of high school. What I imagined Chris Torres when he was 18, right out of high school, college plans fell through, that he would be speaking, he would have his own podcast, he'd be a guest on somebody's podcast, a gunny, giving me the ability to be a guest. That is a huge return on investment I can't even be thankful for. I can't show it. I really can't. And I was like, I just want to see my contract out. I was able to be that. Can I just see it through? He was like, most people would take the med board. I'm like, most people
they will.
Me. Most people are not me. I was like, I had a 6-year contract. I became a R, became a 4. By the end of whichever one of path I would have chosen, 2025 was my day. 2025 September. That was it. That's all I needed to pass through. I'm living on borrowed time now. I eventually got better, a little bit better, and an opportunity came up. They're like, hey, you want a PCS? We send you home. I'm from Chicago. I got nearby, a 99 nearby, an hour away. And I'm running. And I'm like, oh man, I'm feeling good. I'm seeing the glimpses. He's there. It's been a struggle road. It's been a year and a half, and you fucking cried, bro. And you were in your shower, calling your staff and CO that also had knee surgery, saying, bro, I don't even know how to take my clothes off, bro. Mm-hmm. I'm after the 3 days of my surgery, and now it's a year and a half, and you're out there running. You're at the gym, and you're looking good again. And I'm like, I can do this. I can keep going. Get to my new duty station. I'm good. I'm solid. The consistency of doing my physical therapy, icing my legs, stretching, going to the gym, doing the little weird physical therapy workouts.
Bro, I hated that.
I kept going. And I was able to go past my contract. Went past this borrowed time. I'm 2026. I should have been out. But I'm not. And it was because I just wanted to see it through. I was like, if I don't see this through, I don't know what's going to happen. But I think it's unfair that an institution, an organization that accepted me, gave me so much to learn, opened my eyes to there's more to the world than your hometown. There's so much learning to grow besides where you are at. Recruiters sell you. I wrote about this. Recruiters are the greatest salespersons ever. They sell you a life that if you really put yourself in it, is amazing. Regardless if you have bad leadership, a bad duty station, your perspective and your mindset will change that. Like they sell you the greatest life that you can have, the greatest thing that you can. I agree with it wholeheartedly. Like I'm sitting in my apartment with the money that I get paid to pay this place. I don't worry about being hungry or where I'm gonna live. If I didn't have my apartment, I would live in the barracks. There'd be a chow hall. We have such a huge blanket of comfort, and I think we forget about that. So me as a person, I was like, I think it's unfair that I'm giving mediocre work and it's affecting other things about me too, not just my physical performance, but now my mindset. And I'm going to just keep going. I can't be that. I can't give that return back when they've returned so much to me. And that is some of the reasons why I'm getting out. I think it's unfair that regardless of the bad experiences, I don't have family, but I know lots of people, they can take care of their family because of this. It's huge. They don't have to worry about where do I put my family. I know so many Marines that re-enlist, they come back that after getting out because this gave them medical, taking care of family. That's one thing they can now put off their plate. So when I want to be that leader, I can't really be that because I feel like now I'm in debt. I'm in debt to the thing that was giving me so much.
You know, what's so crazy about that, man. And first and foremost, you know, just to go back to what you had said right in the very beginning, man. First off, I know. I don't think I know a Marine that wouldn't have took the med board. That's the piece right there. I don't think I knew a Marine that wouldn't have took it. The moment that they would have heard that, I'm out. You feel me? And it's easy to get caught up in the life that we have now. You feel me? It's easy to get caught up in the life that we can have later and then forget the fact that, dude, like you wouldn't even be here right now if you didn't make the choices that you had made. You feel me? Like if you didn't enlist, you probably wouldn't even be in this position, right? You wouldn't even be in the headspace that you are in right now to be able to say like, fuck, man, like I could be doing this on the outside. You feel me? And I've said this before, you know, I'm indebted to the Marine Corps, you know, and I love the Marine Corps, not from a perspective of just like super gung ho. I love it because it took me from Detroit, Michigan. You feel me? It pulled me out of Detroit, Michigan. It exposed me to so many different things, and it allowed me to be able to expand. Let me rephrase that, change my entire mindset to be able to create who I am right now. And just like what you had said, bro, like, you know, you want to ensure that the organization, the institution gets a return on their investment. Mm-hmm. And I hear you, bro. And I just think about it. But it brings me to that one question right here is that at what point did you realize like, fuck, man, like I really have to get out? You know what I mean? Like, and when you made that decision, what was that feeling?
So I realized it about a couple months ago when I ran my CFT. So my CFT, I can usually, right after surgery, I was still in the high, I was like in the 270s, CFT wise. The PFT is what murders me. That constant beating of the 3 mile. But the CFT, I was golden. I was like, even with the surgery, you still got it, big dog. These long, lengthy legs still got you for that 880. You can still put on the manure in the fire. I hit the gym. Never stop it in the gym. I will crush the gym for my upper body. So I'm okay. No big deal. I can pump them out with my arms, not even using my legs. But when I got to that CFT last year, and there's dudes that I saw that just they don't put in, and I was with those dudes, I'm like, oh, there's some reconsidering we got to do here. As I'm running that 880, I'm like, I'm now in this herd. Oh, no. This is not who I am. I'm not that slow, but my leg is killing me. And I'm like, okay, let's just focus on what we got right now. If the next step is the only thing I see, that's what I'm going to take. So I'm just finish out my CFT. The next step is these fucking ammo cans. All right. Don't feel shame of yourself that you're back here. Just put out. Man, my legs were hurting bad. They came up to me like, yo, I know your legs hurt. You all right? I'm like, no. But whatever. I'm like, I can still keep going. And that's when I realized. I had to check into myself. I'm like, whoa, you are no longer able to perform like before. What's going on? Let's reflect on what are the things you've been doing that have caused this. Looked at it, I'm like, no, I'm still hitting the gym, still out here doing a little bit of sprints, still a little bit of that to prep. You know, it's not perfect. I still hurt. I have to ice my legs. I have to stretch a little bit longer. But you're doing the right things. Why are you slowing down? Why is your weight going up? Then I'm like, okay, am I really doing all the right things? In the second check, I'm like, okay, picked up a little bit. I go out a little bit more, hang out a little bit more with my friends. But you still go hit the gym. All your friends are like, dude, you're always at the gym. You're always doing this. You're doing the right thing. Okay, cool. I'm not that old, but I can feel it in my legs. I can feel it in my legs. Walking around hurts. And that's when I realized. That's when I took that really like know yourself. She said, overprove. I'm like, okay, you do all the right things for the most part. I'm like, we're doing the right things all the time. Going monk mode and just focusing 100%. Would that solve it? Tried it as best as I could. I was not going to medical, trying my best, eventually she just said, you just have to live with the fact that you're going to live with chronic knee pain. I'm like, I'm 23, bro. You telling me I have to accept the fact that I got to live this way? There's no way. No way. So after that, kept reevaluating and it hurt. I was salty. I'm getting a little right now just talking about it.
Yeah.
And yeah. And I had to just look in the mirror and say, dude, you know, really, what is it that you want to do? And can you still do it? And the answer was no. I'm like, you're doing all the right things.
Bro,
you might want to consider, getting out. You can still do more, just not here.
Fuck, man. Like, my bad, dude. Like, podcaster to podcaster, it be those moments where you just want to interject. I am so sorry, bro. Like, my bad, man.
Yeah. All right, I'm done.
Bro, it's just, man, like, even hearing you, man, like, you still better than... I think one of the hardest things, especially about getting injured, one of the hardest things about getting injured in the Marine Corps is the stigma that we have. You feel me? Like, there's something associated with getting hurt, bro, that the physical pain is one thing, but the pain mentally, you feel me?
Yes.
That's a completely different one. You know what I mean? The pain of the ego, that's a completely different one.
Mm-hmm.
If I was a shitbag and I got hurt, bro, like, it wouldn't have bothered me. It wouldn't bother me because ain't nobody really thought much of me from the very beginning. Now I'm hurt. Now I can finally get out. Now I know for a fact that I'm about to get paid. But when you're at the top, bro, like, and you're a high performing Marine, when you're a high performing Marine and you get hurt and you're no longer able to access that ability to perform at that high level, it hits you differently. Because fuck, dude, like, even as I'm listening to you, brother, you're saying, like, I'm in the back with this crowd, but I already knew who that was. Those was the fat bodies. I already knew who that was back there, who you was running back there with. And you look around, you feel me? Like, you looking around and you just like, what the hell am I doing back here with y'all? And they're like, what's going on, brother? First time back here? And that affects you on a deeper level, man, because you know what you can do. You know the expectation that you have for yourself. You know what you used to be capable of. Mm-hmm. So it's like, why the fuck am I back here with y'all? You know, when people come up to you and they know that you're hurt and they're checking on you, that's frustrating. You feel me? Like, we don't even talk about that. Like, how frustrating it is for somebody to check on you, because it's like, bro, why are you checking on me? Go check on that guy. That guy needs you more than me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good. I'm doing great. Go check on the guy that actually fucking needs it. And it sucks because you've now turned into the guy that actually fucking needs it. Yeah. You feel me? Like, you're the guy that has turned into that. Yep. And what's so crazy, man, is that when I messed my knee up the first time, bro, that wasn't the first time I had actually injured myself like that. I actually injured myself when I was in recruiting school. I had injured myself. Yeah, I rarely talk about it because I bounced back, I want to say, within like a couple of weeks. I bounced back within a couple of weeks, but I know it never really bounced back like it was supposed to. And we were doing some like dead sprints. I take off in a dead sprint. As we are running, I hear a pop, like something. It just popped, Yeah. And my knee just stopped working, bro. Like, it couldn't run with my other leg anymore. And I was just like, bro, did I just, and I remember I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, did I just fucking tear something? And next thing you know, it just swells up, it gets hurt, bro. And I'm just like, fuck, man. I came all the way to recruiting school and really just injured myself on a dead sprint. That's wild. And what bothered me wasn't the knee pain. It was the fact that I had to limp everywhere. It was the fact that I had to put Tiger Balm on. It was the fact that it took me damn near 20 minutes to walk just a couple blocks. Like, I don't know if you've ever been on like MCRD San Diego, but from the hotels to where my class is at, you feel me? Or where that Domino's is at, that's not a far distance, bro. That's not a far distance. I had to leave 20 minutes early because I couldn't build up the momentum to move my leg. Like I was dragging it. And it felt like I was a car with my fucking hazards on. And what would irritate me the most is when Marines would come up to me and say, hey man, are you good? Hey man, are you okay? And it almost got to a point where I was like, bro, like if I tell you that I'm not okay, what the fuck are you gonna do? You see what I'm saying? Like, you see my hazards on, just go around me. You feel me? Like you keep asking me like, hey, do I need help? Like, are you okay? But if I tell you, yes, I do need help. Yes, I'm not good. What the fuck are you about to do?
What are you gonna do?
Besides go around me and mind your own fucking business. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, bro, like I smell like Tiger Balm and I'm hurt. Leave me be, bro. Like, go worry about yourself. And what really did it for me, dog, like was we were doing a run. At the end of recruiting school, you got to do like this whole fucking like recruiting school run. Like, dang, I forget what it's called, but like a battalion run. And everybody's singing cadence and stuff like that. At this point, I feel like my leg should be good, but I ain't really tested it. And I'm out there running, shoelace coming loose. I go tie my shoe. Mind you, as I was already running, bro, it was taking everything in me to keep it in second gear. It was already taking everything in me to be with everybody else. Soon as my shoe came unloose, I couldn't even run back up there fast enough to be able to catch everybody up. That was the first time and the only time I had ever fell out of a run, technically. I'm in the back with the other people that fell out of a battalion run. And I felt so, I think the best word, bro, was just like disgusted. That was the word. You know what I mean? Because it's like, ooh, that's the word right there. Disappointed, irritated. You know what I mean? Because you back there with the same people that in the back of your mind, you like, I'm better than this. I'm better than you. All right, like
it's a huge ego hit. Huge ego hit.
That's really what it is that ego, bro.
It's a huge ego hit.
And they asked me, they was like, hey brother, are you okay? And I was like, bro, don't fucking talk to me. Don't like, I literally said that to a Marine. I was like, bro, don't fucking talk to me. Like, I'm not the same as you. All right. I'm here. I won't be here long. All right. This is you all the fucking time. All right. I won't be here long. And I feel like that was just projection. You know what I mean? That was just projection because I wasn't used to it.
It's coping. It's trying to grab that control. It's like, no, I got injured, and I start telling the story. It's the story we tell ourselves to protect ourselves from ourselves. The story we tell ourselves to protect ourselves from ourselves. It's like, I'm injured. This is just temporary till I recover. But that story might be the new story. It could be. And it's a hard story to accept. And it's one that I've been working to accept. And it's a huge hit to pride, to ego, to the Marine Corps concept. But really, if that's who you are as a person, that just hits way different to be there. And I completely understand where you're coming from. And when you tell people you're not okay, like I know we ask a lot of people do, how are you doing, this and that. But what do we do when someone says, hey, I am not okay? Like, what do you do then? What do you do? Do you just sit there in silence? It's like, fuck, I didn't think I was gonna get this far.
It's one of those things where it's like you weren't expecting them to say. And I used to, bro, I remember walking, man, and I'll be like, bro, oh my God, here's somebody about to walk right next to me. They're about to ask me, because you can tell that I'm in pain as I'm walking. And he's like, hey brother, are you okay? And I'm like, yes, dude, like I'm good, bro. And I wanted to just say, no, I'm not fucking okay. Don't you see me walking like this? Like, you think this is an okay way to walk? You think that this is normal? Like, no, I'm not okay. And you know what's so crazy is to go back to what you had just said in the very beginning, man. It's that knowing yourself and seeking self-improvement. Because when you hear yourself say, like, you know, like, this is the story that we tell ourselves, you gotta know exactly where you're at, bro. You know what I mean? Like, because what was so crazy about that situation, I didn't even have to do that battalion run. Swear to God, I didn't have to do that battalion run. If you were hurt, you could get out of that. You feel me? The sergeant major I remember saying it. I remember seeing it. Like Sergeant Major even brought it up. He's like, if you're hurt, you know, and he said, what really told me that I wasn't going to get out of that run was the simple fact of how he looked at the rest of the guys that were on light duty, because he felt like they were just light duty because they were trying to get out of a run. And I didn't want that associated to me. Yep. Knowing fucking well that I could barely walk. Knowing that I could barely walk, let alone run, I still said, nah, I'm not going to do that. But I knew for a fact that I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to be in this run. I had nothing to prove. Mm-hmm. But it just goes back to what you had said in the very beginning. If you don't know yourself, you're not going to be able to make any type of self-improvement, because you're improving on something that is not real. You're improving on something that no longer exists. You are not talking to the current version of yourself. You're talking to a previous version. So when you ask yourself, like, why the fuck am I not making any improvements? Well, you haven't even improved on the version that's in front of you right now.
Yeah,
there's no baseline. Trying to get back. There's no baseline. You're trying to get back to an old baseline. And that's where, like, I was like, dude, after that, I stopped doing stuff like that. Swear to God, I stopped doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree, which another thing is, you know, knowing your Marines and looking out for your welfare. Like, you yourself are a Marine. You need to look out for your own welfare.
Don't get me started. Bro.
So, yeah, that's
go ahead,
another
man.
one.
Go ahead.
Yeah, like, that's another one. Like, you yourself are a Marine. You need to look out for your own welfare. And we are the worst. Marines are the worst at looking out for their own welfare. They're really fast. Those really good leaders are really fast at taking care of everybody. 100%. They are the last ones to take care of themselves. It's like eaters eat last. But how can you be taking care of everybody if you yourself are not good? And this is the part where it leads me back to that. I am taking care of myself, but I am not really like taken care of, because I'm not healing. Like, I know myself and I know I'm hurting. Know myself, sees improvement, boom. Know your Marines, look out for their welfare, boom. That's what I'm doing. But it's not working out for me. What could that potentially make me? It can make me bitter. It can make me that leader that I don't want to be. Because can I stay in, submit my package, and get approved? 100%. I've already got other staff in CL, previous staff are like, hey, I'm in this duty station. I'll talk to the monitor. They'll, boom, write you orders right now. No, Gunny, thank you. I really appreciate what you're doing. I enjoyed working with you, and that you want to team to the next duty station. We made an awesome team. And, you know, it could be great taking care of for another 4 years of down guard work, financial. I'm back in college, stuff like that. I really appreciate it, but I can't do it. I can't do it because eventually I'm going to be in your spot. But with all the stuff that I'm dealing with, can I really take care of everybody like you take care of me? I don't think so. I don't think I can do that. So, you know, it's another one of those things. Like, just, you got to know yourself and look out for yourself too. Yeah, that's one of the reasons getting out. That's really it. Like, health is huge. I never realized how huge it was. I was always young and I always did athletic stuff. So I took for granted how much health like I had. I didn't realize what I had till I lost it. And now I'm just fighting to get it back, or a glimpse of it as I can as possible.
You know, it's so crazy, man. And man, you said something that bro. We as leaders, we love to say, take care of the Marines, and forget that we one of the fucking Marines that needs to be taken care of. We love to say, know your Marines and look out for their welfare, and not know ourselves and not look out for our own fucking welfare. And then what's crazy about that is that we have the audacity to say, set the example. Who do you think your Marines look to in times of need when it comes down to set the example? Mm-hmm. It's us. So when we're not taking care of ourselves, when we're not taking care of ourselves, when we're not looking out for our own welfare, what do you think the Marine is now going to do? He's not going to take care of himself. You see what I'm saying? He's not going to look out for his welfare. He's going to take care of the guys, though. He's going to take care of the guys because he's seen you take care of the guys. He's going to take care of the Marines. He's going to look out for their welfare because he's seen you, and you did a fantastic job of setting that. But he never saw you take care of yourself. He never saw you give yourself fucking grace. He never saw you look out for your own welfare. So that piece right there is such a foreign and unattended subject for us because we never really see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So That when you said that, bro, that just really like stood out to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and then getting out is really terrifying. I'm fucking scared for many reasons. Everybody that knows me is like, you'll be fine. I'm like, I know I'm gonna be fine, but it does not mean it's not terrifying.
Now,
Me telling myself that it's scary is a way for me to be like, okay, I really need to settle down, get into it.
now my next question is this, man, and the crazy part about it is, you could, once again, podcasting the podcaster, you feel me? Like you know how to segue, you know what I mean? Like, you know exactly how to segue, and it's crazy because you segue into exactly what I was about to ask too. So we were on the exact same intersection to segue. But do you think that some Marines stay in not because they want to, but because they're scared of getting out?
My God. Oh my God.
that was on your notebook.
Oh my God. Yes. I'm gonna give you what I wrote down. PCS season can be a season of self-evaluation.
I like that.
Just because you're close to retirement does not mean you're causing good. That's what I had on my notes. I didn't even finish. I had so many, but we've hit the ones that I was gonna write before. So I think a lot of people stay in for there's a couple of reasons. I'm gonna try to name them as much as I can. Family, I think, is a huge one.
100%.
Marines with family, and 100% take care of your kids. You know, you brought them into this world, and that's your role as a parent. They depend on you, and they're so innocent. I'm not a parent. I don't know, but I do all the things I do now because I want to fail so much that whenever I have that opportunity, that privilege and that blessing to be a father, I want to be able to say, I failed so much, kid. Like, I can just be your father, bro. I can just be your father. I have no aspirations to go for nothing. All the aspirations I failed at, and whatever aspirations I did or fail in, I'm right here for those things I took care of. And I'm your father, dude.
Time out for a second. Where did you hear that from?
I just came up with it right now.
Bro, I told my son that last week. I literally just told my son that exact thing that you just said last week. I literally just told him, I said, bro, like, I've failed so much that I can be your dad, bro. Like, you should not be making the same fucking mistakes that I made. If you start making the same mistakes that I made, then I'm failing you. Because that was why I made those mistakes. So that way I could teach you. So that was just wild that you said that when I had just had that conversation with my son last week.
Yeah, I don't have a partner, don't have kids, but I'm so young and I can fail so much. This is why I'm content creating. This is why I'm doing all this stuff, going to college, all this, because I can fail at this young age and still bounce back. And I owe that, just like I would have owned my Marines to be the best version of myself. The kids that the Marines that I didn't get to have, I own the kids that I yet to have to be the best version that I fail as much as possible to be the best version for them. And it's
100%.
like, oh my God, this young kid is thinking about this. It's like, yeah, that's life. Life is, you create more life. Right?
I love that.
And that involves family. And I want to preserve my health for the kid I've yet to have. I want to be able to run around with them, play some ball with them, all that. If I continue, would I be able to do that? I don't know. But I'm definitely not going to bet on the bet that's going to say no. Because by the time I'm going to be squeaking and creaking, I have screws on my leg, ligaments that don't belong to me, and a for sure surgery at 40 because that's the timeline I have when I had to get possibly another one. Surgeon said these ligaments got 20 years, and at every 5-year mark, they start deteriorating. I'm like, oh, so you're telling me at 40, I'm going to have another surgery, and probably when I'm like 65, like these dudes in these physical therapy sessions, I'm going to have a knee replacement. No way. No way. So I'm getting out for those reasons to preserve. So that family. Another reason is, like you mentioned, being scared to get out. The Marine Corps provides a huge blanket of comfort. The military itself provides a huge blanket of comfort. You leave home, airplanes are bought, person reaches out to you, takes you to the barracks, whether they want to or not. They have to show you around. This is PFC, Lance Corporal, Sergeant, whatever rank you're at. We all do the PCS walk. We all gotta go around, no matter the rank. We all do the PCS walk. This is so and so. Here he is. He's this MOS. He's gonna be the new SACO. He's gonna be the new fucking SMP represent. We all do it. All right. When I got to my unit, there's a couple names that I already had, and they were not my name. I'm like, oh my god, I have some roles already. I'm still in my office. They're pressed and clean. Nice haircut. I'm nervous, but so. Yep, everything's provided for. All the resources are shown. You get a barracks room. I have the blessing of not having an apartment because I lived in Navy barracks. They were shit. We got kicked out because the Navy students needed them. And I was like, oh my God, I finally get to be an adult. I finally get to have my room. First of all, bills suck.
Yeah, 100%.
I took for granted the barracks for sure. The brotherhood that came with that and all this, but there was not that much here. As there's so little of us, but in my last duty station for sure, I got to experience that and it was awesome. So you get food, a chow hall, all that. We have a huge blanket of comfort. So Marines stay in for that. They know it's hard to get rid of them. They know. If I sandbag this, sandbag that, it's difficult for me to get out. They have to start a paperwork. The other one is they're close to retirement. And it's really hard to be like, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. So I'm going to stay in because I'm halfway through that mark where I'm just one highlight tour away. So,
bro, I hate to cut you off, man. I hate that term so fucking much. They'll tell a Marine that's 4 years into their contract, hey, brother, you're close to your retirement. What? No, he's not. No, he's not. He's got a ways, bro. He's got a ways. Like, when I was telling, bro, I can't tell you how many times I wanted to get out of the military. And every time I would bring that up, they would always say, like, hey, you're close to your retirement. Am I? Like, I don't feel like it.
Yeah, that's why I have PCS season can be a season of self-evaluation. Do I still offer what I can give in a positive manner? Right? Does the retirement, the VA, the everything, does it sound that sweet that I can hurt the Marines coming in? Because as leaders, it's our job for the next generation to be good. Like, am I still giving good? Am I still paying off to that return on investment they had on me, right? PCS season can be a season of evaluation because if you stay long enough and you do the right things just enough or make it seem like you do the right things, you're going to get promoted eventually. You're going to get promoted and you're going to repeat that cycle instead of being that cycle breaker or like parents that are the parents that left home and they're like, I don't want this for my kids. You can be that leader. You can be that parent. You can be that person in general. You're a human being. You want the best for other human beings. All right. We're tribal people. And yeah, I think those are the reasons why Marines stay in. It's just that I'm just this and much. And now I have a rank. Now I can delegate. I can be here. I can be there. I can be like, don't care. Figure it out. It's not even your job, but now you got to figure out because he is telling you to do it or she, whoever they are.
Yeah.
And now they can influence how you get reported on. That influences promotion. It influences so many things. So once you get at the top, it gets lonelier, but also it can get advantages because you have an advantage to push that rank around. And I've seen it. I don't really like it. I think that's someone that I could very timely see myself if I would have stayed in because I would have now taking advantage of like, I've been in long enough. I don't have to really do that. And now I'm like hurt. So, this is a story. This is a story that I've been living with now. I would not want to do that. And maybe if I recover, there's so many programs, so many things they're doing to be able to return. If I recover and I'm still loving it, I'm still out here kicking and gunning, whatever, maybe one of those programs can help me come back in. Maybe after finally getting the recoveries, the things the Marine Corps couldn't offer me, and I go out and seek them for myself, I can come back. Probably more powerful too from whatever I'm learning. So there's that. I never throw at something at the wall and it'll stick. Because if I learned from it in the Marine Corps is that nothing you throw at the wall will stick. It'll fucking fall off and then another one will come on and you're just going to keep going. All right.
100%. Man. So as we come to a close of this episode, and I'm gonna close it out exactly with what you just said right there, because I don't think that I could even add to what you just said, to be honest with you. I feel like that's a solid way to close. where can we find you, bro? Like, damn, man, this was a good episode. Bro, this was a good episode, man. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, you came on, you did your fucking thing, bro. Like, honest to God, man, this was a good episode.
Yeah. I did, as I told you before we started, I don't know if you got in the recording, but I like to prepare. I've been watching your content for about 2 weeks, like heavily. I'm like, let me get where I can really, because I owe you that. I'm your guest. I owe to be prepared for that. It's your time, but it's also mine. And to honor myself is honoring you. I really like saying this all the time. True welfare goes from the top to the bottom and from the bottom to the top. The way you take care of those above you is by doing the right things. And the right thing for me to do here was to prepare for you. And so thank you. Where to find me? I have an Instagram and a YouTube page and a platform called Substack. So my Instagram is Chris Torres, Chris Torr __. My YouTube, if you just look up Chris Torres, Curious Notion, you're gonna see me looking up to the side with a little smile and a couple followers. And my Substack is at the Mind Dump Journal. At there, I post newsletters about things weekly that I'm kind of going through. Some of the stuff that we talked about, I've probably mentioned in one of those newsletters. I give little life updates, little books that I'm reading. So that's a really personal basis to touch with me, to really see where my mind is at. And some of the people that have reached out are like, dude, this is some good stuff. It's really personal, but it's really good. I feel seen. And that's really what I'm trying to do here. So thank you for allowing me to put where I can be found, because that's what I'm doing here. If you're feeling alone, you're not the only one.
And just like that, another extraordinary thought left this ordinary mind. I hope you enjoyed this episode half as much as I enjoyed making it. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Meech Speaks. Meech is spelled MEECH. Head on over to your favorite streaming platform. And don't forget to leave this podcast an honest review. And if you like the merch and you want to check out this episode, head on over to meechspeaks.com. Stay hungry, stay motivated. I'm out.